Tell me your name, Genla.
My name is Rabton.
Rotterdam. And which part you came from?
I'm from England. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm from England.
And I guess you came here to join the demonstration. Yeah. And what do you think about this demonstration? Why you're doing this? Can you tell us?
Sure. I mean, for me, there are two main reasons why I'm demonstrating. So one is as a human rights issue. So there are lots of people who are being ostracized from their communities, who are being discriminated against in severe ways. And so I want to make a point and a stand on those people's behalf. Also myself, even as a Western practitioner, I've experienced quite a lot of discrimination over the years. So that's one side. And then the other side is that, like, I have great faith in the Buddhist tradition of Shugden Rinpoche and Pabonka Rinpoche, and so Dorje Shugden practice is an integral element of that tradition, and I feel that the Dalai Lama is trying to destroy that tradition, and so I want to also make a stand to try and protect this tradition.
And he keeps saying that the worshipper, spirit worshipper, is not recognized as the Buddhist practice. So, what do you think? It makes sense for you, or?
Well, like in general, as Buddhists, then we go for refuge to Buddha, and so that's very important. That because beings who aren't enlightened don't have the ability to help us in our future lives or to help us achieve liberation and enlightenment, and so it is very important as a Buddhist that we're relying upon Buddhas. So he's saying that Dorje Shugden is not a Buddha. But the lineage gurus of my tradition say very clearly and give very clear reasons to show that Dorje Shugden is a Buddha. He's a manifestation of Manjushri, and he's the specific protector of Jetsunkapa's lineage. So for me, I'm not engaged in spirit worship at all. I'm relying upon a wisdom Buddha to protect my Dharma practice.
So let's say he completely divided the two group of the, let's say, the Gelugpa. One is Shugden practitioner and one is not non-practitioner. It's clear since 3 years before. But still he's insisting something that what is that means. He keeps doing this, because only his followers is with him right now. But still he's insisting them in front of those his followers. So what do you think, why he's doing this? Because all the Dorje Shugden practitioners go away, they are not coming to his teaching, but still he insisting this.
Well, I think it's very difficult to know what his actual reason is. Maybe he's the only one who knows. I know he's insisting. I know that I think it was 1998 in Switzerland, he said to an assembly that he wanted not even the name of Shugden to remain in this world. So it seems he has some personal obsession with trying to remove Shugden practice from the world completely. And why would he want to do that? Like, sometimes I think when he was very young, he was appointed the Dalai Lama, and since that time everybody treats him with incredible respect and nobody ever said no to him. And then finally maybe he just became resentful of his teachers. Maybe he has some personal problem with his own teacher, Triden Dorje. And so because of that, it's like some sort of way to get back at his own teacher, to just try to destroy his teacher's lineage. I don't know. It's very difficult to say what his reason is, but it seems quite obsessive.
So let's say, today and yesterday, we saw some couple of young people, before they enter into his teaching, they are very calm, and they are very calm. When the teaching is finished, and they came to our side and asking, why you taking Chinese money?
Right.
So how come this, after the teaching, in their mind is very fixed on the Chinese money? What's that about?
Well, I mean, this is, as I understand it, one of the most common slanders that the Dalai Lama's side puts out. Anyone who disagrees with him, not just about the Shugden issue, but any other issue historically. I mean, I know, like Dudjom Rinpoche and other people throughout history in the exile community, anyone the Dalai Lama is jealous of or disagrees with, they start to get called the Chinese spy or taking Chinese money. And so this is just a way to try to marginalize them and make their opinion not heard. So there's no truth in it. Like, it's very obvious. Like, everyone who's here has come here through their own means. No one here has any association with the Chinese government. No one here is receiving any Chinese money. It's ridiculous. It's a crazy assertion, and it's a political diversion to try and stop our voice and our statements being heard.
And some of the followers of the Dalai Lama and exile Tibetan committee, some people are thinking that this demonstration will be maybe 2 years, and after 2-3 years they will stop completely. They think that this gonna be vanish or disappear, this demonstration. And what do you think? It this continue until he gave the religious freedom, or in the future?
I think these demonstrations are extremely powerful. Like, I did my first demonstration in '96. We're now 18 years later, and our energy for this demonstration is stronger than ever before. So there's no question that the demonstrations will stop. Like, our desire to resist his religious ban, our desire to create religious freedom will carry on until there is religious freedom. He has no power to stop us. But just now you're saying this slander about the Chinese money, all this crazy slander. Like, he and his side have thrown at us every accusation, every criticism, every slander that they can possibly think of, and we're still here. Like, we have such strength in our position. Nothing he can do can stop us, you know.
And if you have any kind message to the Dalai Lama, what it be?
Well, I would say to him, for his own sake, you know, to be honest, I think he has a lot of pride in who he is and his reputation, and he personally is endangering that. Like, if I'm more charitable towards him and I say he actually cares about the Tibetan community, well, then he is putting the welfare of the Tibetan community in great danger. Because if it becomes more and more clear to the global public that actually he is a hypocrite and actually he doesn't care about religious freedom and people's rights, then all the support that has nurtured and protected the Tibetan community since its time in exile will disappear. And particularly now, as he's getting towards the end of his life, he needs to really make actions to help the Tibetans for after he's gone. And doing this is putting that in risk. If people see that actually he doesn't care about religious freedom, then why will they continue to support him in his cause?
So thank you very much. Thank you. Genla, what's your name?
My name's Khalsang Pagpa, and I'm a Buddhist monk.
And which part of Europe you came from?
I'm from England, Northern England.
Okay. And why you came here today?
Because I want to protest the Dalai Lama's ban on Dorje Shugden, because it's harming Buddhism and it's harming people.
But he's saying that the Dorje Shugden practice is the spirit worshipper. It's not the Buddhism. So what do you say about that?
Well, that's completely wrong, because his own teacher said that Dorje Shugden was a Buddha, as did his teacher, Bepa Bongkapa. And so there's a whole tradition of lineage gurus who say that Dorje Shugden is a Buddha. The lineage also of Dorje Shugden is a lineage of enlightened beings, including Manjushri. So the Dalai Lama is completely wrong.
And we are shouting from here that you're saying that give a religious freedom Dalai Lama, but he's saying this is not about the religious freedom whatsoever. So he says it's not the Buddhism, so it's not about religious freedom. What do you say about that?
Well, the practice of Dorje Shugden is the practice of the wisdom Buddha. He's a Buddha. Dorje Shugden is a Buddha. It's an issue of Buddhism, and it's an issue of religious freedom, because the Dalai Lama can believe what he likes, but he has no right to dictate to people what they can and can't practice. It is an issue of religious freedom, without doubt.
So at the beginning, Dalai Lama is very strongly banned on Dorje Shugden. He says you cannot practice. If you practice, you cannot attend to the public sector, and so on. Now these days, right now, he's saying, changing that, oh, it's up to individual. You can practice or not practice, it's up to you. But another word, he's saying that Dorje Shugden is not a religion, and it's not a Buddhist, and not a religion freedom. So what do you say about that?
He's lying. Because if you look at the monasteries in India, they have signs outside saying Shugden practitioners go away. There are signs outside shops, outside medical treatment centres. People are not allowed to go in. So if there's no ban, why are these people excluded?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Can you tell me your name, please?
My name is Kelsang Chikmei.
And which part you're from Europe?
I'm from the UK.
Okay. And why you came here actually today?
I came here to take part in the international Shugden community's demonstrations requesting the Dalai Lama to stop lying, to lift the ban on dodgy Shugden practice, and to give religious freedom to all Buddhists. For this reason.
Okay, and so let's analyze since 1996, at the beginning of this conflict.
Yes.
He is very strong against Dorje Shugden worshipper, and his ban is very strong, and and people cannot go to a public sector,
Yes.
such as hospital, and they denied all those access.
Mm-hmm.
So now these days he's saying that, oh, it's an individual depend on individual. Then those big difference. What do you think about this big difference?
I think he says one thing to Western people, like when he comes to the West and he has TV cameras on him, and then he says another thing when he is back in India, and his government, the way that they carry out his wishes amongst the Tibetan community, they make it very clear that there is a ban. And still now, many Tibetan friends I have, they still are experiencing directly the results of this ban. So he is lying when he says there is no ban, when he says it is an individual's freedom. This is not true. We have so much evidence to prove that he is lying about this. So we are saying to him, you must stop lying. This is not correct. He's lying, Dorje Shugden's a Buddha. He's lying when he says there is no ban. He says contradictory things.
And now these days, the followers of the Dalai Lama is just few of them just simply saying that accusation to the organization here. They says it's funded by China. And what do you think about this?
Well, I think I've been coming to these demonstrations since the first ones in 1996, and I'm still waiting for my first payment. So I'd like somebody to investigate, where is my Chinese money? I didn't receive any Chinese money. All these people, all my friends who have come from the UK, people who feel in the same way as I do, they have come here with their own money or through the kindness of other people paying for them. The international Shugden community relies on the kindness of people with the same wish, making donations so that we can eat. We have sandwiches, we stay in cheap hotels and hostels. If I was being paid $1,000 per day, I heard the other day, $1,000 per day for these protests, then I would stay in the same 5-star hotel as the Dalai Lama. And I would fly on a jet, not come on the bus and stay in a hostel. Yeah.
And here, let's say, normally when Dalai Lama comes to giving a lecture in different places, like let's say today, the University of the Rotterdam here, and normally he comes from the main gate, where is the crowded, he shows and smiles and waving his hands. But here the international Dorje Shugden community, here you legally and respectfully demonstrating to him why he cannot come in as a normal, as a usual.
Yes. Well, there was a small demonstration just before, maybe 1 hour before, when he was meeting with the representatives of the Dutch Parliament, outside the Dutch Parliament, and then he came here straight away. And also there have been demonstrations at every talk that he has given recently. So I think he went in the back because he doesn't want to see it anymore. Or maybe his people, they don't want him to see it. So I think that our demonstrations are powerful. I think they are working. I think that it is having an effect on his mind because he doesn't want to see this. We're saying we have a strong message for him. You must stop lying. This is not correct. What you're doing, you're the false Dalai Lama, you're lying. You must stop. And these are powerful words. I think that we are having an effect. And I think it must weigh very heavily in his heart because he knows that he is lying.
Okay, thank you for your sharing with us your suggestion and advice. Thank you. Can you tell us what's your name?
My name is Rocky.
Okay, and you're from where? From Europe?
I'm from England.
Okay, why you came here today?
Why we need our religious practice, and Dalai Lama is stopping us our religious practice. So that's why we're here to tell everyone he is decisive. He's not teaches what he preaches.
Okay, but sometimes he's saying that it's not whatsoever. It's not about the religious freedom. It's nothing to do with the religious freedom. What do you interpret this? What do you say about?
Well, it disguise that because it's a more political. Then he just want his fame. That's it. If this is the case, why doesn't he come out to everybody's face and tell everyone, I've given you religious freedom? Why just sitting in there? Just come out openly. Just come here. Yes, you can practice it. That's what it is, religious freedom, isn't it? All we asking about religious freedom.
Thank you very much sharing us the wisdom.
Why doesn't?
Can you tell us your name, please, Anila?
My name is Genkel Sangtupa.
Okay. And Genla come from which part of Europe?
I come from the UK. Yeah.
Okay. And why you came here today?
Well, I've been a student of Geshe Kelsang's for over 20 years, and I know the power and protection and blessings of Dorje Shugden personally in my life. I know he's a wisdom Buddha. So I want to support the Tibetans in India who are suffering because they want to do this practice, to show that the Dalai Lama is using religion for politics to make himself more powerful. I also believe he's destroying Buddha Dharma because he's not giving pure Buddhist teachings anymore. It's all mixed up with environment and various other things. And there's no hope for the people of this world to reach enlightenment unless there's pure Jason Karpa's teachings in the world. So I'm here for many reasons, actually, but I feel it's very, very important that we do this, you know, that we destroy the lies, the ostracization that people are suffering, the persecution, because it's a basic human right to be able to practice your religious beliefs, you know, everywhere that's accepted, except in Tibetan communities in India, you know. So I just want to help the Tibetans, but also to help all living beings by keeping pure Dharma in this world, actually, and showing that he's not giving pure Dharma anymore.
And but Dalai Lama is saying that the Dorje Shugden is the bad spirit, and also it's not a Buddhism way of practice. So what do you say about that?
Well, Geshe Kelsang wrote to him many years ago and said, what evidence do you have that Dorje Shugden is an evil spirit? It's just, you had a dream. It's just your belief. And many, many holy lamas have relied upon Dorje Shugden and, you know, see him as a Buddha. So I trust all those lineage gurus. I believe, and I know from my own experience, that he's a Buddha. So, you know, to me it shows his mind is very deluded if he thinks that, you know, he's an evil spirit. So I don't believe that.
And in the other hand, he's saying that this is not about religious freedom whatsoever. So
Well,
what do you
that's just a
think?
neat way out. That's just a neat way of getting out of the issue, because he won't debate it. It is a religious issue. It's part of religious practice for us. So of course we want freedom to do that. So his answer, well, it's not religious practice, you know, this, but it's nonsense. It is, because many thousands of people do this practice every day, rely upon Dorje Shugden's blessings, as he did himself. And also it's completely against Buddhist, what shall I say, customs. You always rely upon your spiritual guide. You follow your spiritual guide's instructions. He's stopped that. He's the first Buddhist who says, I don't need to follow my lineage gurus. I know better than my lineage gurus. And he's destroying their reputation, which is completely against Buddhism, completely against Buddhism. You always show respect and gratitude to your lamas for giving you holy dharma. He doesn't do that anymore. So I have no respect for him, no respect.
And he's showing, seems like showing that the people, look, those people are very few numbers of the Shugden practitioner. Look at my side, thousands of people. So choice between who is right and who is wrong.
Well, because they're frightened of him. Because if they don't agree with him, then they're persecuted. You know, they can't get healthcare, they lose their jobs, people won't speak to them. So of course they're going to agree with him, because they're frightened. Only Geshe Kelsang is standing up to him and saying this is not right, because he has freedom. We have freedom, you know. So this is why it's important that we have a voice. We're the voice of all the people that can't speak because of the community, the way the Tibetan community is set up. They have no freedom of speech, no freedom of press, no freedom of practice. They're prisoners, actually, in a way. You know, it's very, very sad.
And my last question is, and the Dalai Lama, he says that this practice is not good for Dharma practice, is degenerate. And also he says same time this organized the demonstration funded by the Chinese money. So what do you say about it?
Well, everybody I know has no money, but kind benefactors in England have given the money to come. I personally have a pension because I was a teacher, so I've used my own money to come. This is just a slur, a lie. Because if you oppose the Dalai Lama, you must be with the Chinese. But that is not logical. That is not a logical argument. Do you understand? It's not a logical argument to say because you oppose the Dalai Lama, then you must be for the Chinese. That's wrong. That's nonsense.
Thank you very much, Anila. First, tell me your name, sir.
Kelsang Drime.
Kelsang Drime. And why you came here today?
Two reasons, well, maybe three reasons. But particularly because the Dalai Lama is destroying the purity of the Gelugpa tradition. And the Kadampa tradition, the Gelugpa tradition, same basis, the virtuous tradition, following the teachings pure teachings of Je Tsongkhapa. So the false Dalai Lama, the false Dalai Lama has denied the validity of his guru and of his guru's guru, and so he's undermining the validity of this tradition. So that's one reason. And then, of course, in conjunction with that, he's also destroying our tradition by saying, spreading false rumors, false stories about Dorje Shugden practice. So if the Dalai Lama does not wish to practice Dorje Shugden practice, no problem, you know, but he doesn't have the power or the permission or the validity to tell people that they in turn cannot practice. People are free to practice whatever they want. And so in Tibet in particular, he's punishing people. People are being severely impacted And here in the West too, you know, people are being painted by that brush, that broad brush that the Dalai Lama is spreading, you know. So all practitioners of Dorje Shugden practice are being harmed directly by his false words.
And but he's saying that worshipping for the spirit is not a Buddhism. So Dorje Shugden practice is he consider as a worship practitioner is not Buddhism. What do you think about that?
Well, we believe that Dorje Shugden is a manifestation of the wisdom of all the Buddhas, and he himself is a Buddha. So if the Dalai Lama wishes to believe that Dorje Shugden is a spirit, he is free to do that. So he can believe what he wishes, we believe what we wish, what we believe. So it's impossible from our point of view for a Buddha to harm any living being. And yeah, Dalai Lama is saying that Dorje Shugden is harming him, but this is not possible if he is a Buddha. We believe he's a Buddha. People say that Dalai Lama is a Buddha, an enlightened being. If Dalai Lama is an enlightened being, how can a spirit harm him? So this is also illogical. Yeah.
And also he's saying that it's not about the religious freedom. There's nothing to do with the religious freedom, he's saying. So, but here we are saying, please give a religious freedom, Dalai Lama. Do you think it's really touch on the religious freedom?
Of course, if we wish to engage in what we believe is a deeply spiritual practice, worship, appreciating Dorje Shugden, asking for his guidance and protection as part of our spiritual practice, that is our spiritual practice. Once again, if the Dalai Lama does not believe it is authentic spiritual practice, he's free to do that. But he's not free to tell me or anybody else how to practice my spiritual practice.
And if you have any words giving a message to the Dalai Lama, what it will be?
Please stop perverting Je Tsongkhapa's tradition and his teachings.
Thank you.